Hey, it's Emily and welcome to my March TBR video. So I'll be doing things slightly differently in March this month because I have hit a bit of a reading slump and I feel like I'm just forcing myself to read books that I actually don't want to pick up right now. So the way I'm going to do this TBR video, I'm going to still pick one prompt from my jar. It's going to be my first book of the month, and then I'm going to do a kind of prompt to prompt challenge like Rachel has done on her channel and just pull the prompts out as I go and then maybe film some reading vlogs along the way. That's my overall plan, I think, for March. So like I said, I'm going to pull one prompt out and then I'm going to quickly go through some hopefuls that I would like to read throughout March. Hopefully March will be the month that will pull me out of this slump that I've been battling for the first couple months of the year and really get into my reading groove. So I think without further ado, let's pull our first prompt out of the jar and yeah, we'll see what book I'll be reading first in March. I can't believe it's March already. Where's the time gone? It feels like it was Christmas like last week. So I've got my handy dandy TBR jar, here we go. Still really full obviously because I refreshed it at the start of the year. So let's give it a rummage and pull out our first prompt. Let's go for, a few of them fell out, but we're going to go for this light pink one. Let's see what it says. Okay, so this could work. This is quite broad. It says pink on the cover, so nice and easy. Let me have a look at my stack of hopefuls because there's definitely a couple here that have pink on the cover. So I have 4 books here that I think have pink on the cover. I say think because one of them could be pink. The first one, a lot of pink, Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I want to continue the series. This is one I wasn't sure of. The tree trunks, right, they don't look pink until you hold it up next to a pink book cover. So that's an option. We have Drive Me Crazy, another heavily pink cover. And then The Dixon Rule, which is quite pink here. So I think though it's between these two so I can continue some series. I think if we're going to count the trees as pink, which they do look pink in comparison, I am going to pick In Your Dreams, Holden Roads by Stephanie Archer for this pink on the cover prompt. So I started reading this in January this year and I decided to soft DNF it because I just wasn't feeling it and I was finding some of the characters a bit irritating. However, I do want to give it another go. I feel like this is a book that I'm kind of in the mood for now. It's the 3rd book in the Queen's Cove series and I have all 4 and it's a series I do want to make progress in and finish in the first half of this year. So I might as well keep going and give this one another go. So this is, I believe, Grumpy Sunshine. If I remember correctly, these 2 people, Holden, I can't remember her name, what's her name? Sadie. Would never have guessed Sadie. They both inherit an inn together from Sadie's aunt and they decide to do it up together, but they don't really get along. They kind of fell out when they were younger. And so over the course of this renovation project together, I think they get close and yeah, they put their differences aside. But yeah, this is going to be the first book I pick up on the 1st of March. It's going to be good. I need to stop like reminding myself that I DNF'd it and just look at it afresh, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it because I really did enjoy the second one this series, The Wrong Mr. Right. Like I really enjoyed that one. So I'm hoping this picks up a bit and yeah, once I look at it with a fresh set of eyes, I'll enjoy it. So with that, you've had a few sneaky hints at what my hopefuls are for March. I'll pop the jar back on my shelf and we can come back to that in a reading vlog this weekend. And let's go through the books that I kind of have my eye on for March. First up, no surprise, Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Like I said earlier, this is a series I do want to continue on in this first half of the year. I know this is more of a summery book, but over the last 2 days we've had some really good sunshine here in the UK, or at least where I live. And it's been a while since we've had that, and so it's kind of put me in like the summer romance mood. So it follows, I can't remember which of the friends, Russ, of course Russ, he's one of the hockey players that we know from Icebreaker. I forgot to say this is from the Icebreaker series, Maple Hills I think it's called. And he's working at a summer camp with Aurora. Literally don't know any more than that about this one because I just picked up Wildfire and what's the next one? Daydream, straight after reading Icebreaker because I enjoyed it. But yeah, another fun ice hockey-ish romance that I would like to read this month if possible, if the prompts allow later in the month. Another book that I really would like to pick up this month is Towards Zero by Agatha Christie. I have the hardback special edition. I don't actually have the paperback yet, but the TV adaptation for this I believe is coming out in March. I think it's March, maybe April. Either way, I want to read it before watching it, and so I would ideally like to get to it sooner rather than later. I don't really know much about this plot. I know that tennis is involved, I think, and it says in the back, a good detective story begins with the murder, but the murder is the end. The story begins long before that, and with all the causes and events converging towards a given spot, towards zero. So yeah, another Agatha Christie that I would like to get to. And I do want to get back into my Agatha Christie reads because I went like 6 months without them until last month. So yep, there we go. Another book that I would like to get to in March. Got to balance out the romances with some mysteries every now and then. Another one is, as I mentioned earlier, The Dixon Rule by L. Kennedy. The reason I didn't pick this for the pink on the cover prompt is because I will be buddy reading this with my friend Jazz, but later in the month, so I didn't want to read it like straight away. We've been buddy reading the entire Briar Universe series together since May last year, and we're now up to The Dixon Rule. So yeah, very excited to get to this one. I read The Graham Effect like last week and loved it. It's one of my favourite ones from L. Kennedy so far. So very excited to see where the series continues with this one. This follows Diana Dixon, which is one of the friends in The Graham Effect, and Shane, who is another one of the hockey players from The Graham Effect. We kind of got to see them interact in The Graham Effect, and they don't really like each other, or at least Diana definitely doesn't like Shane at this point. So I'm very intrigued to see where it goes, and I was going to say enemies to lovers. Is it really enemies to lovers? She doesn't like him for sleeping around with cheerleaders, basically. But this is another like 500-page romance, but I'm sure I'll love it just like I did with The Graham Effect. Another mystery up next, we have The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett. This has been sat on my shelves for a long time. I did read The Appeal and I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was like absolutely amazing, but I really like the mixed media element of it, and so picked up. I've now got the rest of Janice Hallett's books but haven't continued on with them. I was put off this one for a while because Chloe didn't like it. I think she gave like 1 or 2 stars, so I was a bit like, oh, maybe I won't like this one because she loved The Appeal but didn't like this one. However, I have the audiobook now, so I might as well read it, and should be a nice quick easy read because it's all written in like audio transcripts, so especially with the audiobook, I'm thinking it might be a nice, quick, easy read. And we'll see if I agree with Chloe and not like it, but hopefully I will like it. I don't really know anything about the mystery itself, but the fact that it was like another mixed media murder mystery, that intrigued me, so that's why I picked it up. So hopefully I will get to this in March. Another mystery to balance out the romances. Speaking of romances, I have Drive Me Crazy by Carly Robin. I met Carly Robin for a F1 event in, I think it was August. We watched the Dutch Grand Prix with her and had a little like book club discussion after. And I did start it in autumn, sometime maybe October, November last year. And as you can see, I got up to chapter 6, which is page 38. It wasn't because I wasn't enjoying it, it was just I'd read about 5 romances in a row and I kind of needed a break. So I temporarily put it down and I want to pick it up again, especially with the return of Formula 1 coming back in March. Whoop, whoop. I've been waiting for this moment. My personality will come back in March. So I thought, perfect time to pick this up and read another F1 romance. It does mean starting a new series because I believe book 2 came out in October and book 3 might be coming out this summer maybe. But either way, I'm very excited to pick this up again, and Carly was lovely and had such a great afternoon with her, so I definitely want to support her and continue this series. So that's the plan. I may, because it's only 38 pages, I may restart this because I can vaguely remember what happens in this, but yeah, I definitely want to pick this up in March if I can. There we go. We have one more book that I'm going to briefly talk about that I would love to read in March if I can. And that is Morning Star by Pierce Brown. Now, recently I reread Red Rising, but last year or the year before, basically fairly recently, I had reread Red Rising and Golden Sun, which is the first 2 books in the Red Rising saga. And I never continued my reread, but now I really want to because Becca from the Becca Fowl has recently read the original trilogy for the first time and it's made me really want to reread it. But because I reread the first 2 fairly recently, I feel like I can just jump straight in with book 3 and it's a reread anyway. So yeah, I definitely want to continue rereading this series because I haven't read Lightbringer yet, and I do really want to reread these before getting to that one, just so the whole story, the whole world is fresh in my mind. So this is the third one, and so therefore like the last one in the original trilogy I have read on. I've read Iron Gold and Dark Age. However, I'm excited to get back into this world. I really love Red Rising. I think I've read it like 4 or 5 times, that first book. And so yeah, it has a special place in my heart, so I would love to reread the rest of the series because I've never reread further than Golden Sun. So yeah, this would be another like bonus one if I can. I don't want to reread too many books because me and Chloe do have our TBR challenge, so I'm trying to crack down my TBR. However, if I have the time and I'm really feeling it, then I would love to read Morningstar. So yes, that wraps up my March TBR / hopefuls, maybe TBR, I've seen that around MBR, but yeah, or maybe read, that might be what it stands for. But either way, here is a stack of books I would love to read in March, including the top one, which is the one I will definitely be starting March off with, In Your Dreams, Holden Rhodes. Hopefully I'll get to all of these. We shall see what the month entails. So yes, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please give it a like and subscribe if you're new around here, because I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon with a brand new video, hopefully some reading vlogs where I can do my prompt to prompt challenge. So I'll see you there. Bye.